Hmm. How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Over on the Dixie for the daily, we did try to break that 300 EMA, and we are struggling. I would watch if we do make a rejection here. Remember, that could be positive for crypto. We did have some news, though, about inflation and CPI. So CPI is coming in under expected by a whopping 1% for the second time since like a year. So now they're getting overly anxious to secure some votes, so they want to lower interest rates. We could see a short-term boom for crypto and other assets that are more risky, but that could be a long-term effect where we do see rates get increased again if our CPI keeps coming in so weak. We're only at 3%, we needed 2%, and I think it's a little early to celebrate. Over on the 1 hour, VWAP is pushing forward. We do have higher lows. Momentum does want to gain strength. Money flow is weakening. So if that VWAP continues to favor bearish and makes a rejection of that neutral, momentum will continue lower and money flow would break. Our RSI and stochastic are falling. That is leading price action lower overall. Over on the 4 hour, stochastic does want to curl away. RSI is starting to pull back. That VWAP does want to push up. Our momentum is gaining strength. Money flow is starting to pull back though, so I would exercise caution. If that VWAP cannot sustain this bullish trend, momentum will start to reverse and money flow could continue to weaken. Again, that could be positive for crypto. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic does want to round away. RSI is pulling back. VWAP does want to round away. Momentum is weakening. We do have bullish divergence, but overall, we are seeing that VWAP push forward. That could be positive. If we can continue this bullish divergence, that could be great. But if we make a rejection of our neutral and our VWAP pulls back here, that money flow would remain bearish still. Over on the 1 hour, our VWAP is pulling back. It does want to head toward that neutral, so I would watch here. If our VWAP does make a higher low here, we could continue a bullish trend. However, if that VWAP breaks down, momentum will round away, money flow will pull back, and that stochastic will start to weaken with our RSI. That'll all lead us lower. We did have a gap here. We did drop down to fill the gap. We did drop down quick. We made a quick move back up. So we really aren't seeing very healthy moves. They're pretty quick swings overall. We are fluctuating between like $half amounts here. And on stocks, that's quite a bit. At least when you're only when your supports are only $1 apart. So over on total, we are seeing a push up on the hourly, but we will have to start over on the daily. So we are seeing a push up toward the top of our channel. We are seeing that push into our golden pocket. This is where you want to break above our channel and hold. Remember that. Otherwise, if we do not break above and hold here, it's likely we would get that rejection of the top we've been warning to watch for, and then we could still push lower. We are still in this channel as well. That could break us down. Our stochastic does want to round away. RSI is pushing forward, so as long as that stochastic stays bullish, RSI could continue up. That VWAP does want to run in the bullish territory. Momentum is breaking bullish as well, and the money flow is flipping green, so this is positive. If that positivity can continue on lower time frames, then we could see our altcoins push up. Remember, total is the market cap of all our altcoins. Over on the 4 hour, momentum is pushing up. VWAP does want to remain bullish. RSI is trying to gain strength. Stochastic is bouncing. Money flow is running. We do look pretty decent here. Again, this does need to continue. We did break that 300 EMA. We got a rejection, then a retest, and a break above. So this could be positive for a continued move up. We need to stay above that 300 EMA, though. If we break that 300 EMA on that 4 hour, then it's likely we would break down. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic is rounding away. RSI is starting to push up. That is positive, so we are seeing continued bullish momentum there. Momentum is heavy in the bullish territory, but that VWAP is weak. Watch that VWAP very close because we are making a lower high with consistent lows. So if we reject here into bearish territory and make a lower low, we could see bears gain control. We would want to follow that with a rejection of breaking to the neutral to confirm that trend reversal. If you do get that confirmation, that will bring us lower. However, if our VWAP just peaks in the bearish territory and then bounces with a strong bullish wave, that would be positive. That could continue to push us up, and we could continue to run forward. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic is starting to round away. RSI does want to pull back. I would watch if that stochastic does break. RSI could bring price action lower. Momentum does want to round. Our VWAP is struggling to maintain bullish trend, and money flow is running forward. As long as that VWAP stays bullish, we could see momentum and money flow push. But with the way that VWAP looks, it is very weak and it's pretty stretched out. I would just watch if it breaks neutral. If it breaks that neutral, we will see the bears gain some control and that momentum will start to break away. Remember, it's like a little bit of a gas pedal or somewhat new transmissions where you'll kind of start very slow and then accelerate, and then you could start to stop slow and then decelerate very quick. So remember that from the master in the trade, where momentum does take a while to push price up and it does take a while for it to round away. Over on the Bitcoin dominance, we are seeing a pretty decent move forward. We did see Bitcoin gain 6%, total gain 4.5%, so that's why dominance increased. We are coming up to a pretty strong resistance area, so we may see a pullback here. If we see a pullback, remember Bitcoin can still gain. It would just mean total would gain ahead of Bitcoin. Stochastic does want to push forward. We have our blue above orange. My printer is going crazy. Blue above orange, RSI is pushing up. That VWAP is gaining strength and momentum is pushing forward. If that VWAP can continue to push up, we could see momentum continue higher and that money flow would continue to gain strength. Remember, that would continue that trend forward and push us toward that value area high. Over on Bitcoin futures, we do have a bit of a decent bounce here. We are continuing off that value area low. We did break our 61,720, but ideally we want to make a retest here. If we do get that retest though, after rejecting that 65.5 level, then we could fill our gap. We would want to make a higher low if we do fill that gap to stay above this double top channel. If we can stay above that double top channel while filling that gap, we could completely invalidate it and see that run forward still. So we do have 3 touches to the bottom. Remember, we could see our 3rd touch to the top. If we get that 3rd touch to the top, watch for that retest where we bounce out, come back down, bounce off the top, and continue forward. That retest would be what would carry us to that 90K, at least more healthily. Remember, if we do get that retest and we push forward without filling our lower gap, that could set us up to drop away and fill that gap lower. Or later, sorry. Stochastic is pushing up, RSI is gaining strength, VWAP is trying to push up, momentum is gaining strength, and money flow does want to run up. So the daily does look positive. I would just exercise a little bit of caution with that gap we have. Over on the 4-hour, we are above that 300 EMA. You can see we did try to retest it with our indecision candle, and then we continued above it. That is positive. That's pushing our lower EMAs higher. That does give us the strength to continue to see those EMAs trend more bullish. Remember, you want the lower ones above the higher ones. Momentum does want to round away as that yellow wave, our VWAP, is pulling back. Money flow is pushing forward, that red wave. So if that VWAP can make a bounce here, momentum would remain in the bullish territory and money flow could flip green. That would give us the steam to continue up. Over on the 2-hour, we are pushing toward that 65.5. We do have a green dot that signals we want bullish momentum, but every time I've seen them, or at least noticed them, they do tend to play opposite. This one did push us forward, but just like any indicator, I would exercise caution. They're not going to play out 100% of the time. We did go on a tear as we made that gap, so that's the only exercise or cautionary thing I would say to watch for. Momentum does want to pull back. VWAP is in the bearish territory, very weak. So if that VWAP can flip bullish, momentum would remain bullish, money flow could continue up, and we could continue our run forward. Just remember that run forward may not be sustainable if we don't fill our gap. Over on the 1-hour, RSI is pushing up, Stochastic's running forward, VWAP is in the bullish territory, our money flow is gaining strength, so overall we do look positive, but again, I would watch as that gap could bring us lower out of nowhere. We did run up very quick, so just remember when you run up quick, usually you can drop down quick too. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we do have a pretty solid push forward above that 63.1. So again, that is a break of that resistance area. We do want to hold this if we're going to continue that push up. Stochastic is gaining strength. RSI is pushing forward. VWAP has higher highs with higher lows, giving us that bullish trend to push momentum higher and give money flow strength. If this continues, we will continue to run forward. Over on our 4-hour, we are continuing above that 300 EMA. So you see we had that retest, that red candle that dropped us to it, and then a bounce forward. That is positive. We would want the same retest on the 63K. That way we would have a more healthy move forward. Stochastic does want to push up. RSI is gaining strength. that yellow wave, our VWAP, does want to pull back, is breaking into the bearish territory. Watch the lower time frames. If they break bearish, we will see momentum round away, and that money flow will start to pull back. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic is running up. RSI wants to push forward. Momentum is gaining strength. Money flow is trying to push as well. So overall, we do look positive that VWAP does want to run up. But if that VWAP cannot get a higher high here, we could see it roll away, get a lower low. And then if we do see that, momentum would continue lower and money flow would weaken. So watch very close on what that VWAP does. Over on the 1 hour, our VWAP is pretty weak. We are maintaining a bullish trend, but it is not a very strong bullish trend, so I would exercise caution. Momentum does want to push up, stochastic's gaining strength, RSI is pushing forward, so we do look positive. We would need that VWAP to continue with these higher highs and higher lows and get more significant waves if we're going to have more confidence for a strong push forward. Over on graph for the daily, we are pushing up toward that 300 EMA like we said, so hopefully you took this move. That was a very good move today. Stochastic does want to round away, RSI is pushing up, VWAP is gaining strength, momentum's gaining strength as well, money flow does want to push up, so we do look pretty positive. Again, we need that to hold on those lower time frames though. Over on the 4 hour, we are pushing up near that 250 EMA. We're kind of fluttering here, so I would exercise caution. If we reject that EMA, we could end up breaking lower. Momentum does want to kind of curl away as that VWAP is getting lower highs, so I would watch that VWAP. If that VWAP breaks that neutral, our money flow could start to weaken with momentum. Stochastic is pushing up, RSI is gaining strength, and that is helping push us forward. Watch the lower time frames. If this can continue, again, we want to break that 300 EMA and hold like we've seen on the other coins today. Over on the 2 hour here, we do have our retest and a bounce, so that is positive. Stochastic's pushing up, RSI is pushing forward, VWAP is bullish. We do have higher lows. We do have a weak high though, so watch that weak high. If that weak high rolls away, breaks that neutral, and pushes for a lower low, we will see the bears gain control. However, if that VWAP does push off this neutral and get a higher low from here, and then get a stronger high like back here, we could continue our run up. Momentum does want to push up, money flow is bullish, but with that VWAP being pretty weak, that money flow is not gaining much strength yet. Over on the 1 hour, we are continuing above that EMA, that lower EMA, that is positive. Stochastic does want to round away, RSI is starting to pull back, momentum does want to round, and the VWAP is testing that neutral. If that VWAP breaks that neutral, momentum will continue to round and money flow will pull back. That would result in a breakdown from here. So over on Ankr for the daily, we did break that 2883 we've been struggling with. We are at the top of our channel, much like Bitcoin, so just like Bitcoin, exercise caution. VWAP is bullish, momentum is gaining strength, money flow does want to push up, stochastic's trying to push forward, we are pretty maxed out there, RSI is running up, so overall we do look positive. I would just exercise caution if the lower time frames start to pull back. Over on the 4 hour here, we do have 3 touches to the bottom. Remember, we said we want to touch to the top, break through, and hold above. If we can do that and hold above that 3079, then it's likely we could continue forward. However, if we get rejected by the top of this channel, we could end up seeing it break us lower. It may break us somewhere. Let's pull this channel out a little bit, maybe somewhere around that 2673. Stochastic does want to push up. RSI is starting to gain strength. Our VWAP is pushing forward. We are remaining bullish. We have slightly higher highs and higher lows here, but they're very weak compared to these previous waves. Momentum is pushing up. Money flow does want to gain strength. So overall, that does look positive. We need further strength to continue up. Over on the 2 hour, we are breaking that EMA. That is positive, that 300. Momentum is pushing up. Stochastic does want to round. RSI is starting to run up, but if that stochastic breaks down, RSI will follow. That VWAP is in the bullish territory and money flow is running forward. So we do look positive overall. Over on the 1 hour here, we are continuing to see that run up. So we do have a quick move up compared to any kind of drawback. Right around here was pretty healthy, but now we're just tearing up now that we broke that resistance. Stochastic does want to round away. Momentum is starting to round. Our RSI does want to pull back. That VWAP does have lower highs. So watch if we round away and break for a lower low. If that yellow wave gets a lower low, momentum, that blue wave will pull back and money flow would weaken. That will result in the higher time frame starting to push down. That does look pretty similar to the graph, so I would watch. We also have a gap below us right around that 2871, so I would watch for that gap. And we also have another one at 2819. Remember, gaps have an 80% likelihood to fill, and that's why we warn against that Bitcoin futures gap that could bring us lower. Stochastic does want to round away, RSI is starting to pull back, VWAP is starting to weaken, momentum does want to run, and money flow is pushing up. So overall, we do look pretty decent here. Again, just exercise caution, as we are struggling with our 54 resistance. We are staying above that value area low with green candles, so that is positive. That does give us the potential to break that and try to trend toward that point of control on that fixed range volume profile. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a bit of a consolidation, possibly maybe a rising channel. You could call it a rising channel if you draw it like that. These highs and lows don't really connect at that point, so you may draw a short one. Remember, a rising channel is a bearish pattern, just like a bear flag, so even though it says it's rising, doesn't mean it's great for you. RSI is starting to pull back. Our VWAP is pulling back as well. Sorry, looking at two spots. Momentum is dropping. Money flow does want to gain strength, and that stochastic is trying to make a bounce. If that stochastic can break above that 30, RSI could remain bullish, and price action could continue up. I would just exercise caution, because if we don't break away from this channel and make a bounce and hold, then it's likely we will trend lower, possibly trending toward that 50 cents. Over on the 2 hour here, we are trying to hit that resistance area, so I would exercise caution. That could end up breaking us lower if we're not careful. We do have a bit of a tweezer top that could be forming, so I would watch for a strong red candle. A strong red candle could end up dropping us away, kind of like back here. Then we got a tweezer bottom there. RSI does want to pull back, stochastic is rounding, momentum does want to pull back, and that VWAP is weakening, so overall I would exercise caution. If that VWAP does not reverse, we could end up breaking lower. Over on our 1 hour, stochastic is remaining bullish, RSI is trying to push up, momentum is gaining strength, VWAP is staying bullish, but we're starting to get lower highs, so I would exercise caution. We could see that bring us lower. Money flow is starting to weaken overall as well. So if that VWAP does not get a higher high with this push off that neutral, we will see momentum bring money flow lower, and that will weaken those higher time frames. Finally, for algo for the daily, we did push up toward a 1618 like we've been saying we could see. Stochastic is pushing, RSI is pushing, momentum is gaining strength, VWAP is pushing forward, and money flow does want to break up. We do look positive, but again, watch the lower time frames. If they start to pull back, we could break down. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a pretty decent retest of that 300 EMA. That could help push us forward. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is pulling back. Momentum is rounding. That VWAP does have lower highs with lower lows. Money flow is pulling back as a result, so I would exercise caution here on the 4 hour. Over on that 2 hour, momentum is rounding. VWAP is favoring bearish. We have lower highs and lower lows, bringing momentum and money flow lower. If we reject that neutral again, we will see price action continue to fall and possibly break toward that 300 EMA again, and we would want to see a bounce there if we're going to continue bullish momentum. We did pretty much tear up very quick. Remember, a quick move up is retraced. RSI is pushing up. Money flow does want to gain strength. VWAP is pushing into bullish territory with a higher high. Watch if we can get a higher low, stay in the bullish territory. That would push momentum up and keep money flow bullish. That would give the higher time frame strength. However, if that VWAP pulls back and breaks that neutral, we will see momentum reject and money flow would pull back. That would start to weaken the higher time frames in contrast. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night.